Hello and welcome to ThePrint Live. Today we are discussing about the ongoing protests by JNU students on the massive hostel fee hike. Now remember, students have been protesting against a fee hike in the hostel fee for nearly for over 20 days now, and today this morning the HRD ministry, which is the governing ministry for central universities, has intervened in the matter. They have formed a 3-member committee to look into the matter, speak to the administration and students and find a solution to the issue. And this is the question that we are discussing at ThePrint Live today. Will government intervention resolve the standoff? So first of all, let's discuss why students have been protesting for this long. JNU has recently hiked the fee for its hostel, and it's a massive hike as compared to the current rates. So before the hike, which will take place from the next session onwards, students were paying something between 200 rupees to 250 rupees annually for the rooms, for the hostel rooms. But now this fee will go substantially up because only the room rent has been increased from 10 rupees to 600 rupees for a single seater and from 20 rupees to 300 rupees for a double seater. Now add other costs to it, the service charge, the mess charge and everything, and the fee will substantially go up. So for a student who was paying hardly anything for the hostel room, most of the charges that students were paying in JNU was for the food, the mess bill, which would be around 2,500 to 3,000 monthly, like any other hostel or a university. Add to that the monthly 2,300 something in the room rent as well, and the fee will become something like 60,000 annually. In fact, we also did an article recently at ThePrint where we said that after the hike, JNU hostel will be the most expensive hostel among central universities. Before this, living in hostel would cost, in the JNU hostel would cost something between 30,000 to 35,000 annually to a student. Now remember, that is also not that less, because other universities like Jamia Millia Islamia, which is another central university in Delhi, also charges something like that. In fact, Delhi University, which is another central government run university, charges something between, the hostels there are something between 40,000 to 60,000. So JNU was anyway not less than any other university. So everyone who's been saying that JNU students paid very less and now there is just a minor hike in the fee and why are they protesting, we have to understand the whole issue from a broader perspective. It's not just an increase from a 10 rupee to a 600 rupee. It's a lot of other costs also that are involved with the fee hike, which is why the students have been protesting. Now, since this protest has been going on for a long time and classes have not been happening at the university, this is the reason that the HRD ministry, which is all the central universities, JNU is also a central university, are governed by HRD ministry. So, which is why the government, because government also gives funds to the universities through University Grants Commission, they decided to intervene in the matter and formed a panel which has 3 members in it. One is the UGC chairperson, one is the chairperson of AICTE, which is the technical wing of education in India, and another is a former UGC chairperson. So these 3 people will be talking to students and the administration and talk about ways to resolve the issue. Now, there has been an earlier intervention from the ministry last week as well, after which it was not a direct intervention, but the ministry spoke to the administration, and there was some kind of rollback in the fee hike. But that rollback also, the students are saying that it's an eyewash. The students are clearly not happy with this, which is why they're protesting today again. there is a massive protest going on by the students on the first, and they decided to stage this protest on the first day of Parliament to get the attention of the government, and which is the reason that the ministry had to intervene and try and find a solution to the problem. We're getting questions on the issue. What case studies of students or findings did you come across while reporting on the issue of fee hike in JNU? This is a viewer wants to ask, Amit wants to ask, what are the cases on the basis of which we are reporting this? So according to the annual reports of JNU, around 40% students who are studying in the university currently, their family income is around 12,000 rupees, monthly family income. And if they have to, and if you calculate that ways, if those students have to pay an annual charge of 50 to 60,000 for the hostel and the mess itself, the university is going to become unaffordable for nearly 40% students. So this is not some kind of an estimate that we're giving. This is what the JNU's annual report itself says. So this is the basis on which we're saying that and a large number of students will not be able to afford the university. Danish wants to know what intervention would the government possibly take. So yes, Danish, the issue that we are discussing today is exactly the government's intervention. What they've done today is they've formed a high-powered committee. This committee includes people from the UGC, AICTE. They will speak to the JNU administration and students and try to come to a mutual kind of conclusion. In fact, one of the committee members that I earlier spoke to today also said that we understand that it's a sensitive issue and we want to deal it that way and come to a conclusion which is agreeable for both students and the administration. Just to remind, the administration did try to intervene, like I said earlier, but the rollback was only for students from the underprivileged community. Also, it came with a lot of riders. So the rollback, the fee hike rollback was, they said that students who are getting JRF, the Junior Research Fellow Scholarship or the Senior Research Fellow Scholarship will not get the concession. And a lot of other riders, which is why the students are not happy with the administration's decision, and they're still protesting, they're still out on the streets. So Preetham here wants to know, will the VC interact with the students? If yes, then when? So Preetham, this is a good question because the students themselves want to interact with the VC, and this is what they've been protesting for a long time. The Vice Chancellor, in fact, has only been talking to students through social media. He has only been tweeting saying that please restore normalcy, get back to work, get back to classes, but he's not had a interaction, like a face-to-face interaction with the students so far. So no one knows when the Vice Chancellor is going to talk to students. In fact, in the middle of all this, there was some kind of reports that the Vice Chancellor was in fact going to organize, not the Vice Chancellor, in fact at the Vice Chancellor's house there was some kind of a event which was to be organized for the JNU women's community, for the staff in JNU. So instead of meeting students who are protesting over hostel fee hike, all these things were happening in JNU. So that was also criticized a lot. Another viewer here wants to ask, when can we expect normalcy in JNU? Protests seem to be rising on a daily basis. So yes, see, this is the reason that the government is now trying to intervene, because it's nearly a month and the classes are being disrupted at a regular basis. In fact, the university itself has sent many reminders or many letters to students saying, please get back to work, restore normalcy, we can't go on like this. But the students are clearly not satisfied with the government, with the university and administration action, which is why they're continuing with the protests. In fact, they chose today for the protests because so that the maximum attention can come to the protest. Otherwise, before this, they have been protesting inside the campus. They have been, roaming around with placards, painting posters, trying to get the administration's attention. But the issue became so big and it caught the attention of the national media only last week when the students blocked the road behind the university, and they blocked in Vasant Kunj, and that's when police had to use water cannon to dispel the protesters, and it caught the attention, it caught everybody's attention. Otherwise it has been going on for a long time now. So another viewer here wants to ask, will the students be resistant to government intervention? It doesn't look like it because Aishi Ghosh, who's the JNU, the students' body president, she met the HRD minister last week when he came to the university for the convocation. In fact, he was inside the university for a long time because students were protesting outside and he could not go out. So she did meet the HRD minister. So the students are saying they are open to a talk. They do not want to restrict a government intervention, but then government should also listen to them. They should pay attention to what they are saying and try to resolve their problems accordingly. The current intervention, the administration's partial rollback is what they're saying is an eyewash. So they don't want to accept it, but they are open to an intervention. Another viewer here wants to ask, what is the status of VC on the protest? So again, like I said earlier, the Vice Chancellor has only been giving out statements through social media, telling students to get back to classes, and he has not actually met them even once, because we've been tracking this case for a long time. He hasn't met students even once. So another viewer is asking, Pradeep here is asking, when we talk about government intervention, which government are we talking about, state or central? This is the central government, Ministry of Human Resource Development. They are the governing body for all the central universities. So it's the HRD ministry which is trying to intervene in the matter. In fact, the ministry had last week also tried to intervene. The Secretary for Higher JNU had in fact tweeted saying the Executive Committee of JNU is going to announce rollback in the fee hike and some kind of economic assistance to students from the underprivileged category and time to get back to classes. So a secretary for the ministry saying something like time to get back to classes is like a subtle message from the government to JNU students that enough is enough now, we're trying to look into your issues, but please now get back to classes. So the ministry, the government has been trying to intervene in whatever manner they can. Another viewer here, Parth, wants to ask, if it's central government, then why would students listen? Aren't they already fed up by the central government? That's actually a very good point, because JNU students, especially after the new Vice Chancellor Jagadish Kumar came, they have been alleging that he's a government person, he's a RSS man, and whatever he has been doing is because government has been instructing him to do so. So the students are in fact very angry and upset with the current government, but it's not. But they are open to a dialogue, and if there is some kind of a positive intervention from the government, they are definitely open to it. That's all for today. This is Kritika Sharma. Please keep watching our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, and please join us tomorrow for another live on a relevant topic.